American. I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies as an American. I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes, forever American.
Well, hello. Welcome to Real News Live. Thank you guys for being here. Hi, Richard. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Hank. Hi, Nana. Banana. Hi, Debbie. How you guys all doing tonight? Hopefully we get some more people in here. I don't know why. Why it seems like nobody's in here right now, but hopefully we'll get some more in here and get to going. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Retha. Of course, I'm going to wait a minute before I start talking about the news. We'll get some more people in here because I believe they deserve to hear it too. Hi, Pam. How you doing tonight? Please hit that like button and that share button. It definitely helps us a lot. And of course, once again, trying to raise money for families in need. We're trying to make at least $100 a week for families in need. As of course, we know a lot of people need help out there. Yeah, lots of shadow banning for me, definitely. Teresa, how you doing tonight? Hi, Lynn. Hi, Retha. One thing after another, of course, Biden, this joke of Biden, let's be honest, he's a joke. Yeah. It is Friday, so definitely happy Friday. But Biden says he doesn't have any plans to visit the chain development site in Ohio, neither to help them out either. The House Oversight Committee launched an investigation into Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg's response on the February 3rd's derailment. But he has the Biden can't go there to the country, where people need to see him, where he needs to show strength and support for our country, but he can manage to go to Ukraine. He did give $500 million when he was there, but did you know today another $2 billion is heading to Ukraine? Another $2 billion of our money is heading to Ukraine today. After the $500 million we just gave him two days ago. What's going on with American politics? I mean, honestly, why isn't nobody standing up and saying there's a serious problem right now? Just dumping money, literally, to other countries and not giving anything to the people of our country that need it the most. This is becoming ridiculous to a point of utter ridiculousness. Yeah, everybody should be sick of it. Sick of sending money to Ukraine. That's not going to end well. I don't know if you guys know what's happening in Ukraine right now, but it's not going to end well. Biden can't even visit East Palestine, Ohio, to console the residents of our country. Our money's not going to be worthless in a couple weeks, in a couple days, I have a feeling. As Russia, of course, steps up threats today, as Russian broadcast state-run media and Putin discussing the possibility of Russia using a nuclear Samaritan missile to strike a volcano, not just a volcano, The Yellowstone volcano. Of course, Putin said today in addressing that his country will pay increasing attention to strengthening its nuclear missile land-based stuff and sea-based. He reportedly said an SR-28 Samaritan intercontinental ballistic missile would be deployed this year. And then started talking about nuking Yellowstone. Nuking Yellowstone. Does anybody understand what would happen? What would happen if Yellowstone got hit with a nuclear weapon, especially with its instability that's already predicted by geologists right now? I mean, a single targeting like this would be ridiculous. A Samaritan missile can deliver a large number of nuclear warheads to targets. But posing the threat to Yellowstone volcano in particularly is something that does scare me. Yellowstone's caldera is huge. It is big enough to, if that volcano were to go off, to blanket most of the United States. I mean, whether these threats are real or not right now is one thing after another. But the escalational steps that are happening, mean that we could lead to war. No explanation for violating community standards. That's nothing new. We get that all the time. Well, we get copyright strikes. Like, supposedly my voice is copyrighted. Don't know how. That's what Facebook hits me with all the time. And it's ridiculous. I mean, this could easily, I mean, even the U.S. right now is talking, it would bring down the United States. Secondly, it could blow the volcano up. And the entire east coast of the United States would be devastated if they would hit Yellowstone with a nuclear weapon because the fallout alone. The volcano discussion, of course, and it's not the first time that's made since that suggested, but NATO moving to borders of Russia by dropping nuclear weapon by Yellowstone and supervolcanoes talk and San Andreas Fault. Geologists believe that Yellowstone supervolcano could explode at any moment now. Their sign is growing activity. Therefore, it's sufficient to push a relatively small, that any kind of munition or explosion next to Yellowstone would irritate an eruption and initiate it. The consequences would be devastating and catastrophes for the United States. Most of the country would just disappear. I mean, this is U.S. talking about this as well, not openly talking about it, but it's actually out there. Gotta hope that the beings here would not allow it. I mean, but Ukraine and the live updates, Blinken is warning China again, as it's contemplating lethal assistance, that we're gonna sanction China now and not allow them to sell the goods to us. How would that work? About talking about sanctioning China and not allowing them to sell their goods to us would basically not harm China as much as it would harm us ourselves. Yes, China would face financial damages. We would actually face starvation, lack of supplies, lack of medicine, lack of everything we need. It's not just Blinken, but you got the whole entire White House staff talking about sanctioning China now. If China moves in and supplies deadly weapons, or supplies any kind of weapons for lethal assistance to Ukraine, that it's going to sanction China. We're already placing fresh sanctions that'll stop a lot of goods that we have been getting from Russia that nobody really knows about. like certain fertilizers that were the sanctions were lifted in the beginning because we realized we needed to produce our own food. Now those sanctions are going to stop. They're going to come back, where they will no longer be able to export even fertilizer, which of course we've been needing. I mean, the U.S. Defense Secretary admitted today that he hasn't spoke to his Chinese counterpart for a couple months, not a couple weeks, a couple months. China's been non-cooperative. Lloyd Austin said today that his Chinese counterpart has not spoken for a couple months, refusing to take calls in the wake of U.S. showdowns and suspects China surveillance balloons. He's not talking. The problem is producing goods in the United States. We moved all manufacturing out of the United States. It would take another 20 years to bring the manufacturing back properly. What do we do in the long run? I mean, right now, even processed grain for feed, and this sounds ridiculous. We harvest corn and we harvest stuff in the fields, and then we send it to China to get processed, and then it comes back as animal feed or dog feed or food for people to eat. Milling is cheaper there. Everything's cheaper to get done there. It's cheaper for us to ship it there and get it back. And that's what's been happening. So we don't have that processing power in the United States anymore. Ill-advised moves, of course. Top U.S. officials have begun warning partners and allies and intelligence that China could provide lethal aid, and it's probably going to. But of course, everybody's talking about what kind of sanctions are going to be involved. What are the consequences of China? What consequences will China even face if supporting Russia? That's what people need to do: is share information. Be honest, because the news isn't going to talk about any of this. The news is going to talk about what's actually happening. Nobody's talking about what the feds actually have to do at this point in order to tame inflation. And this is scary because I'm going to go into it right now. The feds have to, in order to get inflation under control, without a question, feds will likely have to cause a recession, in order to defeat the worst of inflation. Not all of it, the worst of inflation. Now, this is scary because this is not just my opinion. This is several higher up in banking and institutions state that with inflation soaring, and it's going up every day, it's not going down any. But as inflation is soaring, the feds now are talking behind closed doors about having to raise rates so aggressively that it would cause a recession in order to try to cool the economy and slow price increases. To try to cool it. These higher rates are going to nuke mortgages, auto loans, credit card borrowing, and business lending because it'll become so expensive that people can't afford to pay it. Pressures of inflation are still present, obviously, requiring ever higher rates to tame them, and steadily more expensive loans. And now loans are getting extended, which makes no sense. Yellen's talking about giving money to Ukraine, and we need to give more to Ukraine. Even though we're in the middle of a debt crisis, that's not going to get solved. Of course, it's reduced spending by ramping up recession or ramping up our interest rates are all a recipe for recession. And that's what research papers are concluding right now. And the feds are even talking about it behind closed doors. The feds need a recession to win inflation fight. It's not a question. It's a study. Studies have shown it. They're talking about it already. It'll be a significant blow to the U.S. economy, sharp rise in unemployment, and eventually they will miss their 2% inflation targets for years to come. But the past inflation battle that we're facing right now, it's all going to add up to this. Data shows an unexpected spike. And to disinflate, the engineered by central banks in the United States, Germany, and Canada, there's no instance which a test 1 2. Can you guys hear me now? Hopefully your sound is back, but it's ridiculous. This inflation is out of control, and it's not going to be under control anytime soon. I don't know what happened there, but I definitely got it fixed. But researchers are saying, even from J.P. Morgan economists, Columbia business professionals, or from Columbia Business School, now we got the Bernard's International Business School professors, top economists from banks and international settlements, J.P. Morgan, every aspect of the government, even the federal government now is saying that the recession is coming. It has to. It is scary. There's no way to see a trade-off between labor prices and price stability, between labor and price stability right now. People are greedy, let's be honest. Research papers that have been issued obviously say that there's no way disinflation can result without a recession. A recession is needed to bring in the price increases into line. Sorry as that sounds. And it's going to be a hard recession. It's going to hit a lot harder than anything we've seen in 2008. That was not a recession. That was a little gap, let's be honest. I mean, but inflation gauges closely watched by the Feds have accelerated more than expected. As they're closely watching this, inflation is still going up at an alarming rate. The temporary setback that we've seen with inflation before was because Biden decided to dump a whole bunch of oil free on the U.S. market. Of course, give some to China and other countries as well, but that was free oil, which had a big effect on inflation because gas prices dropped temporarily, which gas prices are heavily weighted within the inflation numbers, fuel prices. Didn't take into account that eggs were still going up and basic goods were still going up because fuel costs were down. Now we're seeing those interest rates go right back, or the inflation rates go right back up to the way they were before. It's going to be chaos. Waiting for the minutes to get released from, of course, the new meeting that's coming So we'll know exactly what's going to happen. But when those minutes get released, I guarantee the feds have talked about this as well, because we know from inside sources that they were talking about a recession is imminent. It's going to happen in order to do anything. I mean, we're seeing inflation take such a hard toll that families, multiple generation families, which haven't lived together in the United States for a long time, we're seeing more multi-generational families, parents moving in with their kids, kids moving back with their parents, with their grandparents, into one household. You're seeing 3 to 4 generations pull back in because housing costs are out of control. More families are turning to multi-generational living. Even at younger age, the increase overall among all age groups. I mean, 1 in 4 U.S. adults, the age of 25 to 34, reside in a multi-generational household. Now, 1 in 4. Recession is where the economy is downturn, but it's not to the point of destitute. A depression is destitute, where you can't produce enough goods to feed your people and people can't afford to buy even the basic necessities. That's when we see more breadlines form and everything else, which we're already seeing those form throughout the United States. I mean, especially because the pandemic benefits are ending. You know, pandemic benefits slowly made breadlines disappear before. That were like in New York, and here in Florida, we had quite a few locations where they were handing out food constantly. Freight truck loads. It's going to come back. It's going to be coming right back, because as those benefits are ending, everybody, of course, is having to face higher costs. I mean, how American households are becoming debilitated by lack of money for paying even for the basics of a home. There's no possibility for childcare. I mean, spoke to even people here in Florida about her dad moving with her to help with her kids, because she had to work. Her father's retired. Her husband works. So what she did is the father moved back in to provide benefits for both parties. Neither one could afford the bills. Then we got somebody in Arizona, of course, that's leaving behind a life in Arizona, driving 36 hours to move in with his daughter. A father moving in with his daughter. I mean, we're seeing this more and more. Families having to move together in order to make the strain go away, or help the strain go away, at least some part. It's ridiculous. Average Americans are paying this year from last year. Let's be honest. 12% more for groceries this year alone compared to last year. Inflation was supposedly done. We're only 2 months into, or almost 3 months into the year. We'll be on the 3rd month pretty soon here. We're already paying 12% more for our groceries than we did last year. What does that say to you? It's not going away. It's not looking better. National price for average price for a single family home is now standing at an estimated almost $400,000, $383,000 for a single family home. The average yearly cost to raise a child is now $17,000. That's not high living, that's bare minimum. This is scary. IRS, of course, is supposedly they lowered tax brackets, but if anybody that's filed their taxes yet or already that have any investments that are outside of a 401k or an IRA, just realize they got hit with the biggest tax bill they have seen in years, paying over 46% on trades, on any profits you made on trading stock. 46%. But no, that's only going to affect people that make over $100,000. I smashed my thumb in the door. I broke it. It hurts like nothing else. But 46%, that's what I just had to pay because that's how I make my money is in mostly investments and trading. 40%, 46% of all the money I made, I had to pay directly into taxes. And I don't make a ton of money, but it's because it's capital gains. So it went to capital gains taxes. Yeah, short-term investments. So every time you make profit, 46% of your profit gets taxed. Ridiculous. I mean, it's money I've already paid taxes on when I made the money originally. So I make interest on this money, and now I'm paying ridiculous amounts of tax on it as well. It's one thing after another. And this is definitely due to Biden because I know what my tax rate last year was. It was 17 to 19% on the capital gains. This year, all of a sudden, you get hit with a 46% tax rate. That's not all. I mean, look at what America's facing right now. And every aspect of America's life is facing this. Yeah. Anybody with open investments that are not in an IRA just got killed with taxes. So, Matt, I'm guessing you're having to deal with the same thing I got hit with. I mean, it is ridiculous. Not only that, they said personal taxes did not go up, but small business taxes did go up. If you make over 200,000 a year, those taxes went up if you own a business, a small business, and a lot of write-offs that were there disappeared for small businesses. Yeah, a part-time job just to buy cigarettes and a Mountain Dew. That might get you a pack a week, Linda. Oh wait, they want to ban cigarettes altogether, but it's ridiculous. People are having to deal with this. Our government, oh, everything's okay. It's not going to change this. It's not going to make this a difference. I see the differences. I mean, we're seeing what's happening. The systematically attacking every aspect of American lives. You pay more for everything, and now they want to tax you more on everything there. It is crazy watching what's happening. Crazy, 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 crazy. Watching, we wait for whatever our government's going to throw at us next. Whatever they want to do, that's what they do. Ban cigarettes and make lead legal. Yeah. A non mind altering substance that people do get addicted to, cigarettes, to a mind altering substance. That's pretty sad. Yeah, small businesses are dying off so fast right now because of this freaking ridiculous scam they're making with it. Literally a scam. I'm going to call it what it is. I feel it's a scam, and they're scamming American citizens by saying that they're not going to increase taxes, but yet they did increase taxes on people making under 400,000 a year drastically. Then we're going to send another $2 billion to Ukraine and weaponry and everything else. And I hope we don't send them F-16s because that is a hardline Russia will not budge on. It's going to be terrifying. Yeah, a lot of people here in Florida are selling off land at alarming rates. Prices are still high though here. I don't know how, but and inside land in Florida is going for a lot cheaper now and selling at alarming rates. They can't use it for oranges anymore. That's the problem. Is a lot of this land was orange groves, and now that we have citrus blight that's been here, we can't get rid of it. Oranges can't be planted again. Man, oh man, be prepared because this stuff is not stopping. One thing after another, like literally one thing after another. Every time we turn around. And we appreciate any donations we do receive. God bless you guys for those. We are very blessed with donations from our viewers to help families in need. I mean, we got Easter coming up, and I don't even know what we're going to be able to do so far this year. I mean, depending on how much we raise will depend on how many families we can help. So it's definitely important. Another great thing is I'm going to put together the list of, I know I was supposed to already do this. I will be making a post later tonight on the list of equipment I got for hydroponics. It's very cheap and inexpensive. It's inexpensive, but it allows you to grow food indoors. So you can grow, if you want to grow salads, you can grow salad for years off of the system and have lettuce or salad every day. That's not a question. So I'm going to definitely post that so you guys have that. You can grow tomatoes. There's certain vining tomatoes that work really well in it. With lettuce, you can have obviously vitamins and everything else, micronutrients and everything that you need. But God bless you all. Please stay safe. And if you can afford to donate, every dollar counts. Literally. I know I say this every time, but every dollar counts to a family in need, especially when they have nothing. We see them giving billions to Ukraine, 500 million, and now 2 more billion. Yeah, if you ferment your feed, you get a lot more out of it. Teresa, definitely, you're right about that. Soak your chicken feed or ferment it. Yeah, Alex, we know what you're saying. But God bless you. God bless America. Please stay safe. And you guys, we will be back tomorrow night talking about more of what's happening out there. As we know, it's a never-ending cycle now. A never-ending cycle at this point, and it gets worse every day, unfortunately. But that's what we got to deal with. Till then, God bless you. Good night. Stay safe. We will see you tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time.